Okay, hello, Finn. Here comes Colin and Catherine. Let's do some checking off on our schedule while we wait for everybody to get here. Hi, Catherine. We need to catch up. We're going to check off snack and recess. We're going to check off music. We have just a couple minutes for social studies, and then Miss Eccles will be here soon for library. So for today in social studies, we're just going to read a fun quick little book about wintertime. And tomorrow we're going to get to do a fun little wintertime craft. We're going to make some wreaths tomorrow. But today we just have time for a little book. This one's called North Country Night. So this is a book about wintertime. So this is a fiction book. It is fiction, but it's kind of like a realistic fiction. So this could have really happened.
Let's do our fiction.
Okay, so snow is falling and it's nighttime in the North Country. One by one, the lights go off in the cedar-sided cabin that overlooks the deep blue lake. Now it's time for the forest to come alive with the creatures of the night. Under the winter moon, a great horned owl glides over the roof of the cabin and circles above the tops of the giant pine trees. He is searching for prey with his keen yellow eyes. Soon the owl locates movement in the cool shadows below the trees. A gray coyote lopes effortlessly through the fresh snow. Although the owl is a fierce predator, he will not disturb the coyote. The coyote's too big. At the edge of the timber, the coyote finds the tracks of a red fox. The coyote knows it would not be easy to catch the clever fox, but instinct tells him that the fox may have picked up the scent of food. So he decides to follow the trail. The little fox is not looking for food, though. He is seeking out a woodchuck's burrow to take over for the bitter days ahead. Oh, he wants to go to sleep in the woodchuck's burrow. Ford, please put the markers away. The coyote is not the only creature that the fox must be aware of. Silhouetted in the moonlight, a gray mountain lion is dangerously close. But the powerful cat is preoccupied with the tracks of another animal that he is stalking. The fox is safe for now. The mountain lion continues stalking his prey through the dense woodland. Once the cat is at a safe distance, a porcupine lumbers into the clearing. And up to the fallen fir tree, with quills loosely attached to his skin, the small mammal will claim the hollow arch in the tree as his den. After removing the last bit of snow from the entrance to the den, the porcupine crawls inside. He will stay there until the snow stops falling. Not far away, a cottontail rabbit sits under a cedar tree, munching on twigs and leaves that have not yet been covered by snow. Food is scarce, and the rabbit has made a lucky find. Once the cottontail has his fill of food, he hops along the timberline on the way to the stream. As he starts down the embankment to the water, he senses danger and stands frozen. Suddenly, he turns and backtracks into the woodland. At the North Fork of the Black Stream, a hungry bobcat has located a rodent under a fallen log. So a rodent is like a mouse or a rat. Busy beavers have built a dam in the South Fork of the stream. In the middle of the artificial pool that has been created, a lone beaver has picked up the scent of the bobcat. Quickly, he swims up to a lodge built of twigs, mud, and logs. In this lodge, he will be safe from the cat. Downstream from the beaver lodge, a long-tailed weasel in his white winter coat has also picked up the bobcat scent. The frisky little weasel, knowing he will not fare well against the cat, paddles across the stream. He is headed for a familiar brushy area where he can easily escape from the predator. Just around the bend from the bush where the long-tailed weasel has taken refuge, a curious raccoon shuffles out from behind a bush. This furry scavenger with a bandit's face mask finds his way down to the stream where he will feed at the water's edge. The raccoon soon discovers a large rainbow trout that is washed ashore. After filling himself with the tasty fish, he continues on his journey. Across the water, near the mouth of the lake, a wet-furred river otter slides down an icy bank into the snowy current. While the playful otter takes another run into the current, a mule deer trots down the embankment to the lake's rim. The graceful deer bends her slender neck and takes a drink of cold water.
Why would you do that in winter?
The mule deer turns away from the lake and makes her way toward a grove of pine trees. As dawn approaches, a soft light touches the tops of the lofty pines, and high above in one of the trees, the great horned owl will soon be asleep. Across the lake and farther up the shore, the lights go on in the snow-covered cabin. In a few hours, the sun will rise and chimney smoke from the breakfast stove will signal the end of another North Country night. Okay, so that was just a quick little book about winter, because tomorrow we're going to make a little winter craft. Let me show you what you're going to need for tomorrow.
It's gonna look like that when you get made.
Okay, so for tomorrow, so we're not going to make these today, but you can start getting it ready for tomorrow. Make sure you have your supplies. Tomorrow we're going to be making these little winter wreaths here. So you'll need, hi, Miss Eccles, good morning. So you'll need some green construction paper and you'll need some red construction paper tomorrow, okay? All right, everybody, it is time for library.
Is that true? Is that true? So that I don't roll over it.
Thanks for pointing that out, Elliot. I think I'll be able to get through now. Yeah, I'll get in here and I'll move it up. So friends, I've heard you. I definitely made sure I had a mystery word ready to go for today. So we're going to start with the mystery word, since I know we haven't done one in a few days. Hi friends who are learning from home. I see you've got Colin and Catherine and Aya and Adeline. Hi Isley too. How are we today?
Good.
Good. Quiet. All right, I gotta share screen from my iPad. Too loud? I think it's a little too loud in here. It's kind of quiet, but hopefully we won't get too loud in here.
Yeah, it's quiet. I can't do anything.
It's so quiet, I can hear the air conditioner
No, that's it.
or the heat. All right, friends, so you'll see in this mystery word, I filled in 2 letters for us. And that's because I want to make sure that we have time today, because at the end, I think we should have some Play-Doh time to make some of the characters and things that we're going to see in our story today. Also, I heard that you all haven't gotten to do a ton of that lately, and I thought we might want to. So we're going to finish with Play-Doh time. Yes,
And
Mulan?
I want to know, a mystery word that I want to say.
Oh, okay. You have a letter?
Say, is there is there a P?
Ooh, can you give me a word that starts with the letter P?
Paul.
Ooh, Ooh, so Wheeler guessed P for pot. And I'm so sorry, there's not a pot or a P in this particular word. And I'll start drawing our picture here. All right, Finn, I see your hand.
Are you sure you
Go for it.
K.
K, can you give me a word that starts with the letter K, friend?
Cat.
Not close.
Close. Cam starts with a C, but it has that same cuss sound.
Kitty. Kitty.
Kitty, yes, kitty. Okay, sorry,
go.
friend. I love the letter K, but it is not in this particular word today. And I'm giving you all a clue. I'm not telling you. It's a surprise. Our mystery word is the name of the creature I'm drawing, but not what we would call it. It's specific name. Just kind of like, you know how you all are all humans, but we each have different names, like Charles and Wheeler and Miss Vanderandy. This guy is a specific animal. We're trying to guess this animal's name. All right, any other letters my friends would like to guess? All right, Ford. O? Can you give me a word that starts with the letter O? Orangutan, I love it. All right, unfortunately, no O's in this. Vina? Ooh, letter, can you give me a word that starts with the letter A? Albatross, amazing. A is for albatross. There is an A, Vita. All right. Would any of my friends from home like to guess? I think I saw Colin's hand, is that? I. Can you give me a word that starts with the letter I?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, thank you. Great guess. Sorry, unfortunately not in our particular mystery word today, though. All right. Some might call it an antler. I'm coming to Birdie or Catherine next.
D.
D. Ooh, there is a D. Can you give me a word that starts with the letter D?
Deal.
Deer. Yes. So there's a D in here. Let's see. Harrison, would you like to guess? Oh, there is an R. It's right here. Would you like to guess another letter? You should guess a letter that is in your name. All right. It is a type of deer, so you all have figured me out. This is a reindeer. That's the kind of animal.
Bamboo.
Or what is the other name for reindeer? Reindeer or caribou. So it's a reindeer / caribou. But we're trying to figure out what this one's actual name is, because that's also the name of our story. Let's see. I don't see anyone at home raising their hand. Would you like to guess another letter? All right.
I'm raising my hand.
H. There is an H. Can you give me a word that starts with the letter H? Harrison. It does. All right, Adeline. I see your hand.
I.
Say it again. Oh, we guessed, Colin guessed I. That's not in this particular word. Would you like to guess a different letter, Adeline?
L.
L. All right. Can you give me a word that starts with the letter L?
Lime.
Yeah, lime. And it's in Elliot's name, too. Charles, is your hand up?
And this is my last one here. My last name is
S. Can you give me a word that starts with the letter S? All right, friends. Charles says S as in snake. Look, you solved the puzzle. Can we sound this word out? Dasher. Dasher. Yes. So our story is Dasher, and it is about Dasher the reindeer. And what's really fun about this story is it tells you what Dasher's life was like before she met Santa. So it's kind of like Dasher's origin growing up story. Dasher was written and illustrated by Matt Tavares. Oh, and I was going to show you his picture before I do this. What's that? Yes, I will in just a second. Thank you for pointing that out, Charles. Charles is reminding me to make my screen big. But before we do that, let's just meet our author and our illustrator. So his name is Matt Tavares. He did 2 parts of this book. Raise your hand and tell me if you know what 2 parts he did. All right, Vina?
For illustrator and
That's right. So what do authors make? What part of the book do they make? They write the words, or you could say draw the words, but what about illustrators?
do the 15.
Yeah, they do the pictures. Now, looking closely at this picture, we can tell how he makes the pictures. Charles, can you see? He paints, that's right. He paints with watercolors. When he first started making pictures, he was only 10 years old and his parents got him a drafting table. We can see one right here in this picture. And he would draw and draw and draw with his pencils, and he was really nervous about using color at first. But he kept trying, and he got and was brave and tried a new thing, and now he uses color so beautifully, and you're going to see that in this book. Now, there's one other thing about him that I'm giving you a clue about on the picture. Yes, I'm calling on Harrison especially for this one because he's wearing a baseball t-shirt today. So he played softball when he was a little kid, and the first year he played, his team played 16 games. How many games do you think they lost? You can show me with your hands. Do you think or how many games do you think they won? 5 games? 10 games? All the games? Ooh, Isley's guessing 5, 10, maybe more.
All the games.
I'm going to show you how many games his team won. What number is this? 0. Imagine how he felt after that. Would it be a thumbs up or? Yeah, we're kind of saying thumbs down. It was a really hard year for him. But guess what? He did not give up. He kept playing baseball with his team and with his friends. And the next year they played, they won a whole bunch of games. And he still loves baseball so much that his first book that he ever wrote was all about baseball. So I like to tell that story because it reminds us sometimes things are really, really hard and they don't go the way that we think they're going to go to, and it just can be really upsetting. But if we don't give up and we keep working and trying, amazing things can sometimes happen. All right, yes, Wheeler.
I wanted to make all of the letters rainbow.
Ooh, maybe next time. That's a good reminder. So Wheeler has a suggestion for the next time we do mystery word. Wheeler says that we should do the letters in rainbow colors. I'll try to remember that. All right, so this is Dasher, the story of Dasher the reindeer, written and illustrated by Matt Tavares. And it starts with a little message. You've maybe heard the story about a certain red-nosed reindeer. What's that reindeer's name? Say it if you know it. Yeah, Rudolph, who was chosen to guide Santa's sleigh on a foggy Christmas Eve. You've probably heard of the 8 other reindeer too. Maybe you can even remember their names. But you might be surprised to hear that a long time ago, Santa's sleigh wasn't pulled by a team of reindeer, but by one horse named Silverbell. In those days, Santa didn't have quite as many toys to deliver as he does now. But over the years, more and more children believed in the magic of Christmas. And Santa's list, do you think it got longer or shorter? You can show me. Got longer, as long as we can stretch out our arms and then some. And guess what happened to his sleigh? It got heavier and heavier because they had more and more toys and gifts to deliver. And Santa knew that Silverbell, his one horse, was going to need what?
Help.
Yep, they're gonna need some help. So this is the story about how an ordinary reindeer family became the most famous animals in the world. And it wouldn't have happened if it hadn't have been for Dasher. And this is where our story starts. Life wasn't always easy for the reindeer family of J.P. Finnegan's traveling circus. They spent long days crammed together in the hot sun while endless groups of people came to see them. Every night, their there was time to rest, and Mama would tell stories to pass the time. It was a magical place, she would say. The air was crisp and cold, and the ground was always covered with a blanket of white snow. Your father and I were free to wander around under the glow of the North Star. So where on the earth do you think she's describing right now? Where did they live before they became part of the circus? Any ideas? We read a story about it called The Walrus and the Caribou. It was up in the Arctic, maybe even the North Pole, yeah. Day after day after day. Under the watchful eye of Mr. Finnegan, and you'll notice when I get the camera or the book close to the camera, can you all see Mr. Finnegan? He's sort of like creeping in the back. You see him? We might need our electrician to come.
Who's Mr. Finnegan?
Elliot, can you turn the lights off? So Mr. Finnegan is creeping in the shadows, like right here. See where my finger's pointing?
No.
You see him now?
I don't. I see him.
Right here. So look next to my finger, Bert or Catherine.
Yes, I see him.
Yeah, we had to turn the lights off. So
Now I can.
he's hiding in the shadows. Dasher liked being with her family, and
Who's hiding in the shadows?
Mr. Finnegan, who owns the circus and Dasher's family right now. See? There he is.
Oh, yeah.
So, she loved meeting all the kids who came to see her because they were very kind to her and they would bring her her favorite food to eat. What did she like to eat? Carrots. But at night, while everyone was sleeping, she would lie and she would gaze at the bright star on the horizon and wish for crisp, cold air and blankets of snow. One night, mighty winds shook the circus tents and rattled the animals' cages. Dasher was wide awake. She was wishing on the North Star when she was startled by a creak.
I know this book.
The gate, oh, that's awesome. The gate to their pen had swung open. Dasher could hear rustling from inside of Mr. Finnegan's trailer. You can see him in his little nightcap with the lantern there. And she knew this might be her only chance. Her heart pounded, she took a deep breath, and then, and you can see it right here, she ran as fast as she could. I like this illustration because she's leaping off of the page. It's pretty cool. On and on she went, with the North Star as her guide. But no matter how far she traveled, it still seemed too far off in the horizon. Because remember, her mom told her that when they were home, the North Star was right above her head. Dasher began to wonder if she'd ever make it there. She thought about turning back, but she couldn't really remember what way to go. She didn't know what to do. She looked up at the North Star and she made a wish. Just then, Dasher heard something in the distance, a soft jingling coming from the way. Who might be coming? Yes, Santa. And what's fun about this one is, can you all see Dasher? She's kind of peering out through the woods at Santa. A silver bell. There in the clearing, Dasher saw a man and a horse. I'm sorry, Santa, said the horse. The sleigh is just so heavy this year. The man smiled. Now don't you worry, Silverbell. We'll take all the breaks you need. But the children, said the horse, they will be heartbroken if we can't deliver all these toys by Christmas morning. Children, thought Dasher. She stepped forward and she said, maybe I can. What do you think? Help, that's right. Because remember earlier in the story, we learned that Dasher really liked children, right? Hello there, said the man. Dasher walked a little bit closer. The man smiled. Have you ever pulled a sleigh? Dasher shook her head. I've never even seen a sleigh, she said, but I pull a wagon just about every night. Well, said the man, how would you like to make a whole bunch of children really happy on Christmas morning? And what do you think Dasher said? You can nod your head or shake it. Yes, she said, yes, I would like that very, very much. And I'll get it extra close because the pictures are really pretty here. Aren't we glad he started to use color? It's so pretty. I can't imagine this book in black and white. Santa thanked Dasher and attached her to her harness. So you can see right here, the harness is what attaches the animals to the sleigh or to the wagon. Against her fur, and its jingling bells made the most beautiful sounds that she had ever heard.
Stupid.
Santa climbed into his sleigh, and Dasher pulled with all her might. Then suddenly, the load felt lighter, and Dasher looked down because what are they doing? Flying! Would you all like to be sitting right here? I would. I think that'd be really fun.
Me too.
And then look at how happy Silverbell and Dasher are. All night, Dasher and Silverbell pulled Santa's sleigh through the air as Santa guided them from rooftop to rooftop, delivering toys to children everywhere. Dasher had never experienced such a thrill. She ate so many carrots that she felt like she might burst. She was having so much fun that she forgot about that star she'd been following, the North Star. At the first light of dawn, as it appeared on the horizon, they landed. The air was crisp and cold. The ground was covered in a cool blanket of white snow. Dasher searched for the North Star on the horizon, but she couldn't find it anywhere. So let's help Dasher. Where should she look for the North Star?
Right above her.
That's right. Right above her. She should just look up. Santa smiled. Dasher, he said, look up. And there it was, directly overhead. Is that the North Star? She asked. Santa's eyes twinkled. Merry Christmas, he said, and welcome home. The North Pole was just wonderful as it was in Mama's stories. Dasher wandered wherever she wanted to, and Santa gave her all the carrots that she could eat. But something was missing. What's missing? What do you think?
Her family.
Her family. I love it here, she told Santa, but I miss my family. I wish we could be together. Santa smiled and he said, that is your best wish yet, Dasher. Let's go find them. So later that night, Dasher guided Santa's sleigh all the way to the circus where she used to live. Mama, Papa, she whispered, everybody, wake up. Mama lifted her head. Dasher, she said, is that really you? It's me, Mama. She told her family all about Santa and Silverbell and how the North Pole was just as amazing as in Mama's stories. But I missed you, she said. You were all that I wished for. So Dasher led her family to Santa's sleigh and Santa attached their harnesses. You're not going to believe this part. And off together they flew. When Christmas Eve arrived, Silverbell, can you all see Silverbell? Watched as Santa prepared his team. Are you sure you don't want to come? Asked Dasher. I'm sure, said Silverbell. I know the 8 of you will do a fine job. And I'll zoom through so you can see all the reindeer too. And Santa and the toys. Later that night, As Santa and his new team of reindeer soared around the world, he called them by name for the very first time. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid. Does anybody know the last two's names? That's right, on Donner and Blitzen. So there they all are up in the sky. So Rudolph isn't in this one. I don't think they've met him yet.
Yeah, because he came in a little bit later.
Exactly. So this is before even Rudolph. On Christmas morning, all the toys had been delivered, and they flew back to the North Pole, where the reindeer family and, of course, Silverbell live happily to this day. The air is crisp and cool there. The ground is always covered with a blanket of white snow. And Dasher has everything that she wished for. And that's the end. What do you think of that one? It's a fun one. It's a happy one. So we have about 7 minutes left. So if we would like to get out our Play-Doh, we can either make some of the characters from our Play-Doh or have a free Play-Doh time, since I heard that we haven't gotten to use it too much lately. If you have questions about how to make any of the characters or the reindeers or the stars, I'll be kind of showing you all on Zoom how I make those things, but you can make what you want. Do you have Play-Doh? Charles, do you have Play-Doh?
What?
Do you have Play-Doh, Charles? So if you're wondering how to make the star, like we saw that North Star that Dasher was following, what I do is I start with just a regular old piece of Play-Doh, then I take it in between my hands like this, and I roll back and forth until it makes what looks like a little like stick or a little log. And to make a star, you do 4 of those. And you try to make them around the same size, if you can. Yeah, but if you want to make your own Play-Doh and you don't want to do this, this is okay too. But if you want to know how to make a star, I'll just show you. And you could even try it out later. So I'm making my second stick right now by rubbing just a little piece of Play-Doh in between my hands. And then when I finish it, I'm just setting it down on my clipboard, which I'm kind of using as my desk or my surface. Yeah?
Okay. Making those logs a little bit like making tea. Take a tiny bit of
Uh-huh.
Play-Doh, and instead of rolling it back and forth, roll it in circles.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
then
is,
you make a little like tea shape.
yeah, you do.
A sphere.
A sphere or a little ball.
And then we have some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think raw peas taste very nice. All right. So, friends, remember how I said I was going to make 4 little logs? You can see them right here. Now, to make them look more like a star, you carefully take 2 of your logs and you arrange them, and I'll kind of press it into my board so it stays, into what looks like the letter what? T. Yeah, you make a T. Then guess what? You take your other 2 little logs and you cross them and you make what looks like the letter X. Like X marks the spot. Then you take your T and you put it down right on top. Exactly. And look at that. It makes a really easy, fun star. So again, you all are doing free time, but if you later want to try this out, you can. Yes.
My Play-Doh won't stick together.
It won't stick together. Did it dry out a little bit, Aya?
Yeah.
Sometimes if you keep rolling it, that helps. Antlers are also fun to make.
Well, it didn't help because it kept like going into pieces.
Oh, have you tried sometimes this works, just like getting your fingers a little bit damp, like under a faucet, and then kind of working just that little bit of water
Yes, I made it.
into your Play-Doh? Oh, you made one.
It's damp. What's damp?
It's just a little bit wet. So get your fingers a little wet from under the faucet and then try to use some of the water that's on your fingers to get your Play-Doh to stick together again. Sometimes that helps.
I'm gonna get my hands a little bit.
See if that helps. It's also kind of fun to make reindeer. I usually start with the head, which kind of is like a little oval.
Did you do the antlers?
The antlers are the best part. You do the antlers kind of like how you did the star. So you rub your fingers together, or your hands together, your palms, and you are making kind of like sticks. Then you can break the sticks and attach them to the top of the head of your reindeer. And this part is a little hard because sometimes it doesn't want to stand up. And then you kind of stick them together. And you can even like pinch off little extra parts and turn them into the antlers. Like so.
I don't have that much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's Santa. I didn't let Santa eat his tummy. It was probably little Christmas cookies. And it's smiling in the face because he knows he's delivering. That's a fun kid. Do you not like Play-Doh very much?
Back to the body. Please make me feel warm again. Not later. I want to go back to my old self. I want to be a one. Talking is awkward to me right now. I don't want to be real. I want to have my own life. Being a world is actually fun. Did you know that everyone can be in a world is actually fun? Did you know that?
All right, friends, since it's 11:45, that means we need to clean up our Play-Doh creation. So that means we get them all together, to mush it up in your hand. This is the fun part of cleanup, right? Get all the little pieces up from your area. You can do that by dabbing your Play-Doh like this on your desk or your table, wherever you're working. Take your Play-Doh, obviously put it in. Now make sure the lid is super shut because otherwise it might dry up. Make sure that lid is clicked down all the way around the edges. All clicked on. Once you're sure your head is, or the lid is all clicked on, you're cleaned up and ready for your next activity. So friends on Zoom, I will see you on Wednesday with another Christmas story. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Friends in the classroom, I love the way I see Venus cleaned up. I see Charles is cleaned up. Harrison's coming to clean up. Tired, Charles? All right, I remembered I got it this time.
Oh, this, I never mind using these wipes. Oh yeah, but thank you. All right. All right, thank you, Miss Eccles. Bye. All right, everyone, let's do some checking off. We're gonna check off library, and next on the schedule, we're gonna do a little bit of math and then do some story time. So let's go ahead and get those math books out. Let's get those math books out. We're gonna be using our dark orange math books. So our dark orange math books today, you're gonna need a pencil and your dark orange math books for math. So a pencil and your dark orange math books. Okay, and we're gonna turn to page 125. 125. We're going to turn to page 125. Okay, I can help you find it if you need me to help you find the right page. Okay, we'll wait. So page 125, 125. Okay, everybody, they're gonna need a pencil. So it looks like we're comparing length.
Otherwise, okay, if I draw use glasses,
We're comparing the length
length
of different pencils today. So the kids in the classroom have their pencil boxes out. So they have a lot of pencils and markers and crayons and colored pencils in front of them. Kids at home, do you have any like writing supplies around you? We're gonna find one pencil, one marker, one crayon, one colored pencil, anything you want. We're gonna find one that is the longest, one that's in the middle, and one that's the shortest. I'll be right there, Harrison. So I'm gonna turn my other camera on and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'll show you. I'll be right there to help you. Harrison. Okay, everyone, this is what I'm doing. So we're going to, in our math books, we're going to be comparing the length of 3 different pencils. We're going to do it in real life, too. I think you'll be able to see this one a little better. Well, no, okay, so I want you, let me get a piece of paper that you can see better. Okay, so we're going to do this in our math books in just a minute, but if you have some things in front of you that we can compare in real life, that would be awesome. Do you have one pencil or marker, colored pencil or crayon that is the longest, one in the middle, and one that's the shortest? We need 3 different pencils or markers, colored pencils.
The middle is the shortest.
Yes, and we're going to compare them. Catherine says with mine, the crayon in the middle is the shortest. Okay, well, before we start comparing them, let's make sure they all start at the same place. Let's make sure they all start at the same place. Okay, so they're all starting at the same place. Which one looks like the longest of mine? The marker, the black marker is the longest of mine. I want you to point to which one's the longest of yours. Which one is the longest? Point to which one is the longest of yours. Nice job, everybody. Which one is the shortest of mine? Which one is the shortest of mine? The crayon is the shortest of mine. Find your shortest of all your 3 things. Find which one is the shortest of yours. Good. Yours is the crayon too, Charles. Now, and save that a line. Now, find which one's in the middle. Find which one in the middle. The one in the middle for me is the colored pencil. Adeline's is the marker. Vina used a glue stick in the middle, or Catherine's is the marker. So we have longest, shortest, and in between. Okay? All right, so we just did some real life practice there. I'm gonna switch my camera back. So this is what you're gonna need your pencil for writing for. Now you're gonna need your pencil for writing. Okay, and the directions say, which set of pencils shown is in order from longest, or from shortest to longest? From shortest to longest. So we need to figure out which set of pencils is in order from shortest to longest. Well, let's look at the first one. Okay, well, here's the shortest, but here's the longest, and here's the one in the middle. It should be shortest, middle, longest. No, not that one. Let's check this set of pencils. Now remember, we're trying to find the set of pencils that's in order from shortest to longest. Oh, this one's the longest. Then the one in the middle, then the shortest. That one's backwards. Okay, let's try this last one. We're trying to find a set of pencil that's in order from shortest to longest. Well, look, here's the shortest. Here's the pencil in the middle. And here's the longest. So this set right here, we can circle it if we want to. This set right here is the set of pencils that's in order from shortest to longest. The last set of pencils is in order from shortest to longest. Okay, everybody, let's turn the page to page 126. Turn the page to page 126. So we're turning the page, one page. Oh, and it says circle the heavier one. So in each row, we're going to circle the thing that is heavier. You remember when we had our balance out and we put two things? The thing that was heavier went down, didn't it? When we had our balance out, the item that was heavier went down. So that means between the strawberry and the dinosaur,
The dinosaur went down.
yes, Adeline, the dinosaur is heavier because the dinosaur went down. Good job, Elliot. Now, what about the block in the car? Which one is heavier? Which one went down? The car went down, right? So that means the car is heavier than the block because the car went down. So we're circling the item that's heavier. Okay, remember when we had our balance out? The item that's heavier went down. It weighed more. Which one weighs more, the cherry or the ball? Which one weighs more? Which one went
The
down?
ball.
Yeah, the ball went down. So the ball is heavier. So we're going to circle the one that's heavier. Now, what about a leaf and a baseball? Which one went down? Which one is heavier?
The
baseball went down. The baseball is heavier. So we circled the ones that are heavier. Yes, we're going to get new math books when we are totally done. We'll get new math books. So kids at home, don't worry. You've got new math books coming your way. All right, everyone. So once you're done circling all the heaviest items, let's go ahead and close our math books up. Put your math books back where they belong. Put your pencils back where they belong. Let's do some checking off on our schedule. All right, we're going to check off math. Next on our schedule, we have story time and then pack up and go home. So once your area is all clean and ready to go, we can start doing some story time. So kids in the classroom, yeah, Ford, bring it up here. Kids in the classroom, start cleaning up, get ready to go. All right, Elliot, ready to clean up? Harrison, you ready to clean up your area? Okay, we're going to read a couple books today for story time. Ford brought us this one that he wants us to read. It's called Dinosaurs in Your World. This one's a long one, so we might not read all of it, but we'll read some of it. Okay. The world as we know it has changed. Oh, look, a sight word. Has. H-A-S. Has. When the volcano erupted, many assumed that it would be the end of all the dinosaurs living on the island. However, a rescue attempt was made, and many of the dinosaurs were saved and then escaped. Now that the dinosaurs are among us, it's possible that humans could encounter one of these post-historic creatures in their neighborhood, at the bus stop, or in a trip to the sea. Although this sounds terrifying, coexisting with dinosaurs is possible. This field guide will help you learn about Earth's oldest inhabitants, discover new sounds your ears should be alert to, and provide safety tips in case you encounter a dinosaur. So this is would be like a fiction book if dinosaurs were still alive and existed, and we had to live with them. Tyrannosaurus Rex. If there's one dinosaur you want to avoid, it's T-Rex. Jurassic World scientists designed her to be Jurassic World's main attraction, but the powerful predator exceeded all expectations. The mighty Tyrannosaurus Rex defeated the terrifying Indominus Rex, survived the volcanic eruption, and is now living somewhere on the mainland. The queen of dinosaurs is one of a kind and is now the most dangerous predator on land. Ooh, okay, we're gonna take a picture walk through the rest of the book. Yes.
Can you press one of the buttons?
Sure.
Because I know what those buttons are even for.
Okay, you sit down, I'll try them. Okay, so I wanted to press some of the buttons over here.
Tyrannosaurus Rex. Brontosaurus.
Okay, thank you, Ford, for letting us look at your book. I'm gonna wipe it down, then I'll give it back to you. You can take it home.
And we can
Okay, let's go ahead and read some books for story time. This one's called The Littlest Christmas Elf. Alistair the elf was excited. Today he was leaving for the North Pole. He was leaving for the North Pole. The whole village of Elfin Corners had come to say goodbye. Even the mayor was there. This year Santa has sent for our merriest elf to join his workshop, the mayor said. We will miss Alistair's songs and stories. Yet Santa needs the best, and our Alistair is the very special elf. But when Alistair arrived at the North Pole, he didn't feel special at all. He was the littlest elf there. He was so tiny that the head elf, McCafferty, couldn't find him a job he could do. McCafferty gave Alistair a wagon to build, but Alistair was too small to hammer. He gave him a dollhouse to paint, but Alistair couldn't reach the roof. He gave him some bears to stuff, but that didn't work either. He's buried somewhere in them, said the elf in charge of bears. McCafferty shook his head. Just 2 weeks until Christmas, and we still have so much work to do. We have to find you a job. Perhaps you can sweep. But even the broom was too big for Alistair, and the other elf started to laugh. Why, he's just so tiny, said one elf. He poked a friend and giggled. He's even smaller than I am, said another, who stuck out his tongue. And he's absolutely useless, said a third elf. Santa should just send him back. Oh, they're not being nice and helpful to him at all. Alistair blinked his eyes quickly so he wouldn't cry. I don't belong here, he thought. I'm so little, even Santa won't like me. Then he pushed through the crowd and ran from the room. But Santa won't send me away, said Alistair, because he won't find me. Alistair kept running until he found a perfect place to hide, down behind the woodpile, in back of the reindeer pen. It was there that Alistair found a friend. My name is Nicholas, said an old elf peering over the woodpile. What's yours? Alistair answered with a whisper. Nicholas shook his hand. I'm glad to know you, he said. Would you like to help me with the reindeer? When Alistair nodded, Nicholas lifted him up on his shoulders, and the two of them chatted and sang while they fed and watered the reindeer. Alistair was so happy to find a friend that he returned to the reindeer pen every day and the next day. Nicholas never minded if Alistair asked questions, and he never told Alistair he was too small to help. While Nicholas cleaned out the stalls, Alistair fed the reindeer apples. While Nicholas brushed a reindeer's coat, Alistair polished harness bells. And all the while he told Nicholas stories. And together they sang to the reindeer. But one morning, Nicholas was gone. Someone else was hauling the water. Someone else was cleaning the pens. Where's Nicholas? Alistair said. Nicholas, indeed, said a grumpy elf who was busily swinging a pitchfork. He's up at the big house. Now, go away. I have work to do. The big house, thought Alistair, but that's where Santa lives. Nicholas must be sick. He must be very sick to be staying with Santa. And he thought of his friend in that big scary house, sent Alistair scurrying home to the safety of his bed. But he didn't sleep. He was worried about Nicholas, and he missed him so much. He knew he'd have to see him. So the next morning, Alistair packed a basket of fruit and started out for a visit. But the nearer he got to Santa's house, the slower his steps became. Finally, he stopped completely. Behind a Christmas tree in Santa's front yard, he watched. His heart was beating loudly. Suddenly, the door opened, and Alistair, more scared than ever, dove beneath the pine tree. He heard footsteps and buried his head under his arms. The footsteps came closer. Alistair was afraid to breathe. He closed his eyes tightly and prayed that no one would find him. But someone jiggled his foot. "Hey there," said a voice. "You're not hurt, are you?" Alistair let out a long, slow breath. He peeked out from under his arms. It was Nicholas! Alistair scurried out from under the tree and gave his friend a hug. "Well, it's Alistair. I've missed you. And how are the reindeer? The week before Christmas is so busy I don't have time to take care of them. Come inside and talk to me." And before Alistair could say a word, his friend had hoisted him up on his shoulders and began walking toward the house. "No, no," cried Alistair. "I can't go in there. Put me down." And he wiggled and squirmed so much that the old elf did. "Can't go in where?" Nicholas asked. Alistair pointed towards the house. "Oh, and why not?" "Because Santa won't like me and he'll send me home." "Why would he do that?" asked Nicholas. "Because I'm little and I can't do anything right." The old elf said, "Why, that's nonsense. You're a big help to me. In fact, I have a special job just for you." "A special job?" asked Alistair. "For me?" "Exactly," said Nicholas. "You're coming with me this year when I make my deliveries." "Deliveries?" said Alistair. "The toys. The toys to the children on Christmas Eve," said Nicholas. "You see, it's a long trip and I get lonely. But you could come with me, Alistair. You're so small you'll fit right in the sleigh. And you could tell me stories, we could sing songs, just like we do in the reindeer pen." Alistair's mouth dropped open. His eyes got big and round. "Then you're Santa Claus?" His friend bowed, also known as St. Nicholas. Alistair began to back away. Then he stopped and grinned. "But I'm not afraid of you." "Well, I'm glad," said the old elf. "Will you come with me on Christmas Eve?" "Oh, yes," said Alistair. And that's exactly what they did. And it was the best Christmas Eve Alistair or Santa ever had. Oh, all right, we've got time for one more short one, and then it'll be done for the day. This one's If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. I think just once. If you take a mouse to the movies, he'll ask you for some popcorn. And when you give him the popcorn, he'll want to string it all together. Then he'll want to hang it on a Christmas tree. So you'll have to buy him one. On the way home, he'll see a snowman in your neighbor's yard, and he'll want to make one of his own. Then he'll need a carrot for a nose. When he's all finished, he'll decide to build a fort. He'll ask you to help him. Then he'll want to make some snowballs and have a snowball fight. Playing outside will make him cold, and he'll want to go inside and curl up on the couch. He'll ask you for a blanket. Once he's nice and cozy, he'll want to listen to Christmas carols. You'll have to find some on the radio. He'll probably sing along. The carols will remind him of his Christmas tree, so he'll want to make ornaments. You'll get him some paper and glue. He'll ask you for glitter. When the ornaments are done, he'll hang them all up. Then he'll stand back to look at the tree. He'll notice his popcorn string is missing. So he'll want to make another one. He'll ask you for some popcorn, and chances are, when you give him the popcorn, he'll want you to take him to the movies. Oh, that silly mouse. Oh my goodness. All right, everyone, let's do some checking off on our schedule. We're gonna check off story time. Next on the schedule is pack up and go home. So kids at home, we will see you tomorrow morning. You did a lot of good work today. See you in the morning. Bye, Catherine. Bye, Colin. Bye, Aya. Bye, Finn.
Bye.
Tomorrow.
30 minutes, I guess.
Yes, we do, Aya. Yes, I'll see you soon. Bye.